Well, hey there. Good morning, LEGO fans. Happy Monday to you. Hope your week has started off right. I know mine has because I get to talk to you about some LEGO, some news, and rumors. So, what do you say? Should we get into it? It's Monday. I love a good Monday. And I will have saying just thank you so much, whether you are tuning into me on your favorite podcast platform. Let me know which one do you love the most, because I stream on a bunch of them. Or maybe you are checking me out on YouTube. I know there is a bit of a following on there as well. So if you're maybe more of a visual person, you can find me at the Imagination Brickshop. But no matter how you listen or no matter how you watch, I just appreciate you tuning in. So anyway, like I said, it's Monday. So what do you say? Let's get into some news and rumors. And it is February. We did it. We made it. I don't know about you. January's not usually my favorite month. That kind of January slog, that post-holiday slog. But hey, we're through it. It's awesome. And now we're into February. And February means new releases, right? We've got some Brickheads that have come out. We've got Eeyore. We've got Mai the Red Panda. And we've got Dumbo. Those are really cool. For better or worse, whether you love it or hate it, we've got the Twilight Cullen House is out for sale. That's $220, so definitely a pricey set at 2001 pieces. But some people are going to love it and some people are going to hate it. I just don't know if it'll end up in my house, but it's definitely not a day one buy for me. I will tell you, though, the set that is out right now that I do keep eyeing, which I think is really neat, is set 10345, and it's the flower arrangement. 1,161 pieces, so it's pretty big, but it's $110, so average on cost. But you know what I like about this? Let's take a step back. You know what I don't like about botanicals, or how they started, was when you had that flower, the flower bouquet, or the wildflowers, or the roses, things like that, they never came with a vase. And if you have ever tried to display your Lego Botanicals, you know that can be kind of a challenge. And then they went ahead and came out with like the Birds of Paradise, which arguably is not that impressive looking, but the vase is really, really cool. They have finally come to the realization that they need to put these things together. So the flower arrangement, it's a pretty beautiful flowers, a lot of color, a lot of variety in there, and it is in a really nice vase, which I think is kind of neat. Now, some people may not like it because they're like, no, I think the vase is ugly and I wanted to display it in a different way, but I like it because that means you can really display the flowers in all of their glory versus them kind of falling off to the side in a regular glass vase. But, anyway, that's February, right? Which is cool. But you know what is even cooler than February releases? March releases. And I don't know if you have been keeping track, but there's some big things coming our way in March. So I just want to talk to you about some official images and things that have finally just popped up, come our way, that is going to make March, I think, one that is going to be remembered. And let's start off with, again, two that are a little divisive so far. One is the French Cafe. That's 10362. 1,100 pieces, $80. I talked about this one last week. It's interesting. It's the first in 5 sets that are going to be restaurants around the world. And what makes these interesting is they are smaller than a modular. They're basically a facade of a restaurant and something that's more meant to just be a display on a bookshelf. And the first one they're coming out with is the French Bistro. We don't know what the next 4 will be. But it's interesting, cool concept. I'm not sure about it yet, where it kind of fits in, because you can't really put it in a Lego city because the back is horrific, or you'd have to modify it, or you'd have to put it up like on the wall if you did that kind of display. But it's not an architecture set either. It's just a classic French cafe building, which is it's not about the architecture, it's about the restaurant. So I don't know where it fits yet. So we'll just have to see what the future holds for that. If you're a Star Wars fan, March 75429, we have an AT-AT driver helmet that's coming out. And a little pricey at $70, but I think fans are really liking this one. I know I am. If you're a fan of the helmets, one of the helmets that has always been really cool. If you're tuning to me on YouTube, you can see it right now. The TIE Fighter pilot. This is probably, it's the black helmet with the silver Empire emblems on them. This is probably the most coveted helmet. Wasn't released for very long, basically right around COVID. And you're going to pay a lot of money to try and get your hands on this set. But it's really cool. And I will tell you, the AT-AT driver helmet, y'all, I think that one's visually, anyway, as iconic and just as cool as the TIE Fighter helmet. So we'll see. Like I say, there's some stickers in this, which I'm not a huge fan of stickers, but definitely some cool printed pieces in this, and it's definitely not cheap at $70, but an interesting set to say the least. If you want to check that out, there are official images of both of those. You can actually pre-order them now at lego.com. And the last one that you can pre-order is an architecture set. We've talked about this one as well, 21062, and that's the Trevi Fountain. This is a re-release, a remastered version, if you will, because LEGO Architecture has released a Trevi Fountain in the past, but this one is a lot bigger. It's 1,880 pieces, and it retails for $160. So it's basically 3 times as big and twice as much, but it's extremely detailed and it's an extremely good looking set. So if you are a fan of architecture, or if you didn't get your hands on the Trevi Fountain when it was first released, I think you're going to be pretty excited about this set. I'm a completionist. I've always said that. I think it's a really cool set. And I've said this before, it kind of irks me a little bit because there's so many beautiful buildings, monuments, architectural pieces of history that are out there that I don't like it when they repeat, but I will tell you that this is definitely a superior version of the Trevi Fountain and definitely more in line with what they're doing with LEGO Architecture lately, as in releasing less sets per year, and each set is definitely larger. So to have an 1,880 piece architecture set now is actually the norm and not the outlier. So anyway, you can also pre-order that if you want. I will say, putting this out there, all 3 of those, if they're not first day buys, you could probably hold off. Helmets are notorious for going on sale, so I can totally see the Trevi Fountain, the French Cafe, and the AT-AT driver helmet in about 6 months going on at least a 20% discount. So if you don't want to pay full price and just get it day one, I would just save your pennies. These are definitely ones that could go on a discount. Now, moving on from there, one other official image that we just got not too long ago. It's a cute little set. It's a new Creator 3-in-1 set, and that is the set 31172, the record player, which I bring this up because it's just a 366 piece set, right? It's only $30. But it's so interesting that they have this come out like not more than a month after the January gift with purchase retro record player. So if you didn't get a chance, if this is your thing, if you didn't get a chance to get your hands on that GWP that was out in January, very cool record player set, you can get yourself this Creator 3-in-1 record player, which was kind of neat. So I just thought I would bring that up as well. That's coming out March 1st too. Okay, going on from there. These are the 3 biggies, and the 3 that I talked about a little bit, but we really, we got some more details finally. 71837, talked about this one last week. This was the Ninjago City Workshops, okay? 3,244 pieces, $250. You can't see images at lego.com yet. There are no official images. But if you go look, there are blurred images out there online. And if you see it, it's basically, looks like 2 tall buildings, kind of almost like a corner set. And it's interesting because this one has that robot mech that's set up right in the middle. So it's almost like a giant, colorful building coming together with your different layers of buildings, and it's got it's got a crane on top where where they're basically building a mech. It reminds me of like Pacific Rim, because I'm not a huge Ninjago fan, so I couldn't tell you too much details about it, but it very much, the one blurred image, I was like, wow, this is like they're building, to go to go fight a kaiju, right? So it's got this huge mech, and it looks pretty cool. Definitely smaller than the other sets, feels like a little bit different vibe, but I think people are going to really like it. But that's also a March release, so I would imagine we should get official images for this set sometime this week. All right, moving on from there. Other March sets, there are just so many of them. One it's an interesting set. I'm visualizing it in my head right now. If you've ever seen the Lego upscaled minifigure, well, guess what? They've revamped it. I talked about this one weeks back, but we finally got images. It's set 4819. That's the Octan upscaled minifig. So at just $55, it's 694 pieces, basically right the same size as the classic upscaled minifig. But this is a race car driver, and he's got his racing helmet on, and he's got his classic Octan gear. So I think a lot of people will be excited about this one too. It's interesting. If this one is successful, I could see maybe them doing an upscaled space minifigure in the future. I mean, we've already got a pirate one for the Lego house, but we're missing space, we're missing castle. So that's just kind of interesting. So putting that out there, you can go see official images of this at lego.com. And then, last but not least, I'm saving the best one till last. This set I just think is amazing, and it just dropped. And that's set 31215. That's Van Gogh's Sunflowers. For $200, y'all, it's pretty expensive, but it's huge. It is a 2,615 piece set, and when you look at the scale of this is bigger than an art set. It is take your traditional art set and increase it by like 25%. It's really beautiful, and if you've ever seen Van Gogh's Sunflowers, beautiful yellow sunflowers, yellow vase, it's at one time, I believe, was the most expensive piece of art that was ever sold at auction. Like, we're talking 20 some odd years ago. It was one of those pieces that sold for, like $65 million or something like that. But it's a gorgeous piece. And if you are a fan of art, you may already have Van Gogh's Starry Night. Gorgeous set. I have Starry Night hanging on my wall, and I love it. And I look at Sunflowers, and I'm like, ooh, there's a nice little blank space on my wall that's literally right behind the camera that I'm like, yeah, I'm putting that right there. Now, if I could just find a place to put the Mona Lisa, I would totally be set, because I will tell you this, the Mona Lisa has been growing on me, but that's a whole nother topic. So if you want to see the sunflowers, you can go to lego.com and just go under upcoming, the new releases, and it is there. It's a gorgeous, like I say, I think it's a gorgeous set. I've not built it, but I've seen some of the videos on the building techniques or how it comes together, and I think it's gorgeous. I think it's a little pricey. Granted, yes, it's 2,615 pieces. Put that out there. But art sets, you can get the old school art sets like the Darth Vader right next to me. Those are like 4,000 pieces. Granted, they're 1x1s, but those were like $110. So for $200, I'm just like, darn it, Lego, quit taking all of my money, Because there's so many other things that are coming out this year that I want to spend money on for Lego. And I'm just like, now I got to spend $200 on a Van Gogh sunflower set. I don't know. I will say this. All of these sets that I've mentioned for March, minus the Ninjago City workshops, I think will eventually go on a discount. I can see sunflowers definitely going on a discount. Octan, the 3-in-1, all of those. I can see you getting all of those sets for at least 20% off. And as we get on later into the year, as Legos tries to push that last stock in that fourth quarter, You could get 25, maybe even 30 on some of those. So I don't know. I'm probably, full disclosure, I'm probably going to wait on all of these sets. I probably won't own them for many months because I think I'd rather just save some money and just buy Van Goghs at more like I would love to buy it for like 160 instead of 200. It just feels a little pricey. Anyway, so those are our releases. And if that wasn't all, just in case you haven't thought about spending enough money yet, tomorrow, that's right, tomorrow, February 4th, we have the official pre-orders for the BrickLink Designer Program Series 4. And this is one of those things that you're not finding on a discount. You have one shot at this. So you need to set your alarms. You need to get in on it. I don't think they're going to sell out right away. So I don't think you're in a rush. There are 2 sets that I think have the potential to sell out within the first couple days. But the others, you probably have 3 or 4 days to get your hands on a pre-ordered set of this. So I'm going to go through the 5 sets real quick. It's the Merchant Boat, done by Nicholas Collier. The Merchant Boat is 2,180 pieces at $170. It contains 4 minifigs, and it's a really colorful, it's a classic, not old school like river steamboat, but it's like an amalgamation of a riverboat meets a houseboat. And it's very colorful, very cute. And at $170, it is the cheapest of the 5. Next is the Wild West Train. This is the biggest of the 5 and the most money at $280. It's by L. Lucky. I think this is the guy from Poland. But it's got 12 minifigs. It's really a cool looking train set, and trains are always very popular. So we will see. The Wild West theme, I don't know, but yeah, it's cool. And what I like about this set is it has the potential to be motorized. Now, granted, you're definitely going to spend more money on that, but yes, you can motorize the Wild West train set, and I think it just looks really, really, really neat. And with 12 minifigs, definitely a lot of playability in there as well. And then the 2 sets that I think, if there's a chance for selling out in the first couple days, these are the 2 sets. The first one is the Medieval Seaside Market. This one is done by BrickFans at 2,560 pieces, $230. It has 9 minifigs, but it's a completely modular castle seaside harbor build, right? So you can think of it as part of that castle line, like your Lion Knight's castle, but it's a harbor castle type build. You got your harbor master, you've got all these little characters that go through there, and it's very reminiscent. If you like the castle theme, you're probably going to like this set a lot. So I can see this set definitely going out at $230. We'll see. And then again, the other one, I think the Siege Encampment, also 2,598 pieces, so just slightly larger. Same price, $230, but this set has 18 minifigs. So I think this is probably the number one that might sell out. This is my guess, hedging my bets. This is done by Sleepless Nights. He does a lot of castle-themed sets. But I really love the trebuchet in this, as well as the siege tower. Like if you've seen Lord of the Rings, right? They got that big siege tower that rolls up against Helm's Deep. It's one of those bad boys. And if you're a castle fan, obviously you might probably own a bunch of castles already. To have the siege encampment, I've said this in previous podcasts, is a really nice addition that we wouldn't normally get. So there's a whole lot of stuff that goes with a lot of tents and things like that that go with it. So I think people are going to be really happy about it. And I think they're going to like the fact that there are 18 minifigs in a set that's 2,600 pieces that's still just $230 versus the Medieval Seaside Village at the same price and half the minifigs. So something to consider. And then last but not least, our dark horse, and the one I'm actually, like, of all 5 of these sets, I've said this before, this is the only one I'm interested in pre-ordering. Like, I'm going to pre-order this set But if I had to guess, I think it's probably going to be this or the Merchant boat are probably going to be the least popular. But this is the Riverside Scholars. This is done by Hanwha's. It's 2,769 pieces, big set, at just $200. So it's a really good deal. It's got 5 minifigs, and this is actually the third in a series done by Hanwha's. And the reason I like this set, I've said this before, is that it's the third in the series. Before they had the Oceanside house, which I really wasn't interested, but they've also got the mountain windmill, which I own, and I love that set, and I really want to combine these sets together. So I will tomorrow, be pre-ordering the Riverside Scholars by Hanwha. So I look forward to seeing that theme continue to grow. And this has been kind of interesting. I don't think people expected this, but there's been theming going along with the series, and it's like, oh, if I order this, maybe in 3 or 4 series down the road, there's going to be a second set that kind of goes along with it, or a third, like the Wild West train. There's lots of Wild West buildings that have been released in previous series that kind of go with that Wild West train. Same with the Siege Encampment, Sleepless Nights designed a castle already. So if you've been paying attention to the Designer Series sets and you've been ordering, you're like, oh, you've kind of built your own mini theme, which is, I think, kind of cool. So again, pre-orders start tomorrow. There are only 30,000 of each of these sets, okay, which is, granted, way up from original Designer Series where they only had 10,000. So 30K is a bunch, but you can only get 2. So if you're trying to buy these to resell them, first off, I don't know if these are good investments. There's not a super cheap one, and the castle ones are a decent price. You'll probably make your money back and maybe a little bit more, but I just don't know how great of an investment these are. But you can only buy 2. If you're interested and you want to know more about them, this is really cool. You can go to BrickLink, the designer program. They have actually little 90-second videos that are really cute and give you a little information about each set and lets you meet the designer. Like, the video is the person who's doing the video is the designer of that set, which I think is a nice little personalized touch for each of these sets. So I highly encourage you to go check it out, and I highly encourage you to set your alarms, because this is, like I say, it's out there right now in terms of official Lego. This is the most unique thing we have going, right? It's not another Star Wars set or a re-release. It's not Ideas, which is super cool and super unique, but it's something that's very niche, and the limited quantity of it also makes it a little more exclusive, if you will. So, like I say, it's just really, if you haven't checked it out, you owe it to yourself to at least look at it. You may not like it, you may not want to go for it, because here's the deal: when you pre-order it, like you're pre-ordering in February, they're not going to go out until like May or June. Okay, so it's a 2-3 month turnaround. And granted, your credit card or whatever it is you're paying with doesn't get charged till then, so you don't have to pay right away. But like, for example, the series, it's either Series 2 or Series 3, I can't remember, but I actually pre-ordered, and those are actually getting ready to get shipped out now. So stuff that I ordered months ago, last year in 2024, is finally getting ready to get shipped. So that's when they charge your card. So that's interesting. So anyway, and then last but not least, final thing, because I can't believe I've talked about this so much. And the reason, if you're tuning in on YouTube, like next to me, I've got the Lego Death Star. And you've probably been asking yourself, why would you have the Death Star next to you? Because I always put out something next to me that kind of goes in line with the theme of the show. And I thought I'd end with this. And that is, I've talked about the October Death Star that's going to be released, right? Unless you've been under a rock, come October, there is going to be a $1,000 Lego set. The first ever officially $1,000 Lego set is going to be a Lego Death Star. I wanted to give you some perspective. Okay, this is set, the one that's next to me on YouTube. It's the set 10188. It's the Death Star, not Death Star 2, the one from 2004, but this is Death Star 1, the play set series that was on shelves for like 8 years, right? And it's got like 12 different rooms, different scenes, and it is chocked full of minifigs. In fact, this set right next to me has 24 minifigs. And that was part of the allure of this. Like 24 minifigs in a Lego set? That's crazy unheard of, right? This Death Star coming out in October, the rumor is it's going to have 40 minifigs. Yeah, 40. 40 minifigs. It's going to have 16 more minifigs than this giant behemoth next to me. And this set was on sale for $400. Okay, so if we do the math, if this set were probably released today, you can account for inflation and all that, it would probably be a $500 set. So if this came out, like I said, we're assuming it's a $500 set. This Death Star coming out in October is a $1,000 set. Like, this set is going to be twice the price of the set next to me and almost twice the number of minifigs. So you got to ask yourself, how gosh darn big is this thing going to be? Like, and part of me is a little worried, honestly. Like, I am going to be a little bummed if we don't get that Death Star 2 vibe, because the Death Star 2 is the incomplete one from Return of the Jedi. You know, like, it looks like it's under construction. It's not the completed Death Star. And so I'm like, if it doesn't come on a stand and just be like crazy 9,000, 10,000 pieces, and I don't know, probably be 5 inches in diameter bigger than the one next to me, first, I don't know how I'm going to display it. But yeah, $1,000 minifig, $1,000 Lego set, but 40 minifigs. That's just unheard of. So anyway, that's why I put this one out here, because, you know, it's something to talk about, $1,000 Lego set, but it's another thing to put it in perspective of how big it could potentially be, you know, versus something that you already have. So there you go. All right. Well, you tell me what you think. It's February. Did you go buy the Cullen House? Did you go buy some Lego, the new brick heads? I think they're gorgeous. What is the set in March that you're gunning for? Or are you going to do what I do? Are you going to wait? Or are you going to wait and spend your money tomorrow for the BrickLink Designer? I would be interested. If you are watching on YouTube and can leave a comment, I would love to know which BrickLink Designer Program set that you're looking at. Which one do you think is best? You know, which one, or even if you weren't going to buy one, which one do you think you would buy if you wanted to buy one? You know, rank them for me. I don't know. But the interaction, I'll definitely comment back. I love to interact with people who comment. I think it's great, and I also just think it's great for you listening in. You know, wherever you're listening into, hopefully, maybe I made your drive to work a little bit easier this morning, and hopefully made your day just a little bit better. That's my hope for you. But with that, I do hope you have a wonderful week ahead. It's a Monday, but you know, we can get through it because we got Lego, right? So anyway, until Wednesday, when I'm coming back at you with a set review this week on Wednesday, I will just have to catch you then. Bye-bye.